Anwar, are you on the line?
Hi, Damon. Hi, and thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Not a problem. Now, we talked a little bit before, and I think it's really appropriate to start off by saying you originally did not kick the habit or kick the drug habit with Ibogaine. It was a more traditional treatment method. Is that correct?
Yes, I would say partly a traditional treatment center that had helped me out, but also it was a miracle of a nature because, I was dependent or addicted to substances for 17 years. And, obviously they say that normally an addict has to reach rock bottom in order to basically get sort of a wake-up call. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was approximately about 20 years old during 1980. When I was studying in India, I had to go to India to study in a medical school. Mm-hmm. And I think during the apartheid period, it was a bit difficult for us to get admissions in university and medical schools over here. And I went to India in 1978, 79 as a very innocent, young, introverted kid, which didn't even touch a cigarette. And I got exposed to drugs when I was in India, because India at that time was the international transit route for drugs. And they had a lot of drugs available. I was living and studying in a place near Goa. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are aware of a place called Goa, which is sort of at that time a hippie area, sort of meeting place for people all over the world that used to come indulge in. November 1997, my uncles and them decided to intervene and use tough love, and they injected me and they locked me up into a mental institution. Mm. And I was instituted with 25 psychiatric patients. It reminded me of the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Being a person which wasn't mentally affected but seemed to exhibit behaviors as like a mental patient. And I lived there for 2 weeks in the psychiatric hospital. And from there was a Russian psychiatrist who diagnosed me as being addicted and transferred me to a state rehab center because I couldn't afford a private rehab center. And I went into a state rehab center and I stayed there for 3 months. And I think in my 4th week, a huge transformation took place, a spiritual awakening took place, and somehow God performed a miracle, and since then I have recovered and never touched drugs. That's from now going to almost 13, 14 years. I decided, I think God had a plan for me, and I realized that maybe my passion lied in helping people, and that's when I came out of the closet and started talking to people in schools and in community places and talking about my addiction, and starting support groups and helping people. And since then, I've been helping a lot of people, and I think in 2003, I had bought over a treatment center in Durban. In 2004, I did my honors degree, and I did a paper on religion, substance abuse, and spirituality. Helps out in trying to create that balance and help tremendously in resetting the addiction area of the brain. As I explained that, the rewiring takes place, and Ibogaine tends to organize the brain to be wired back into its pre-addiction stage. And obviously, we notice that now once you get back to the original state and once the cleansing process has taken place, then obviously the cravings are gone. The cravings are removed because there is nothing to stimulate the cravings. I found a lot of people saying, after Ibogaine, I'm trying to think of my drug of choice, but my mind is not allowing me to think of it. Why? Because Ibogaine has a tendency to try and kick that thought out, because anybody knows that a craving starts off with having a thought, and if the thought lasts more than 0.04 seconds, that's how fast a message takes place through a nerve fiber into the brain for it to be activated and for it to work. And once you allow that thought to occur or to stay around for more than that period of time, you are trapped, you are caught, and that's how you get a craving. So what Ibogaine does not even allow it to even stick around for that millisecond. And that's how it tends to help with the cravings tremendously. We tend to find that a lot of people although would say, you know what, I'm trying to think of my drugs and I can't think of my drugs, and that's when it tends to help them tremendously with the craving. Then obviously the switch that takes place, you know, the people speak about the switch. The switch that takes place, we don't really know how the process really works, but there is a switch that's taking place where, like, it's like going on, and, you know, you're sitting in the dark all your life, and you're wondering why there's no light in your life, why your life is not moving anywhere. All you need to do is get up and put on the switch. Well, that's what Ibogaine does. Ibogaine goes up and puts on that switch for you, so there's like a light bulb that's now on, and everything just comes alive, and you know, you basically have a good time. To answer your question, so that everybody understands, not going into much, quite a number of wonderful people. And what was said, which I really want to place on record, was Howard Lotsof couldn't make it for that conference. And I had made this effort to go and meet with him. I had a friend in Boston. We drove down to New York. We picked up Dimitri. And I was worried, why is it when I phoned Howard Lotsof that I wanted to come and visit him at home, he didn't want me to come and visit him. But the time when I picked up Dimitri, we were driving over to Howard Lotsof's place, and we stopped over at a convenience store, and we had to purchase tea and sugar and cookies. And when I went into Howard Lotsof's home, I was shocked, and I realized why Howard Lotsof didn't want to invite me to his house. It was sad to see the situation he was in, that financially, I think fighting in the field of Ibogaine had brought him and reduced him to the level that he could not even afford tea, milk, and sugar. You know, tears rolled down my eyes, you know. And people don't know this, you know, that the sacrifice Howard had made. And Howard was concerned and worried, because where will Ibogaine go? And knowing that he doesn't have much time to live. And he was telling me that, you know, he doesn't know what's going to happen to the future of Ibogaine. And I told him, Howard, look, there are a lot of young individuals who are passionate about Ibogaine, that are working in the field of Ibogaine. Don't worry, we will take it on. And we will take you to another level, and we'll make your dream come true. And that sort of relaxed him, you know, to know that there are a group of people out there, and there are a wonderful group of people out there who have this vision and dream and working tirelessly behind the scene. You know, it's so sad, and Howard Lotsof was also affected by this, because I've had numerous discussions with him over the last 2 years of his life. He was very, very disappointed and disgusted with all the petty politics that was going on, and the backstabbing and the gossiping and the bringing people down, you know, which was leaving a very bad taste to this wonderful plant. And I also sometimes feel it's very difficult to understand that this plant has such profound healing properties. I mean, I have taken Ibogaine 3 times the full dose, and I've done a few maintenance doses. And, you know, I found that each time it made me a better person. It actually opened my mind and motivated me to a whole new world, you know, which was very beautiful. And I have very different types of problems. So my message out to the people is that if you are an ambassador of Ibogaine, please work on your character. It's important for us to make sure on how we interact and how we treat people and how we talk to people and what message we pass out there. It's no use us trying to put people down, look at people's faults, and give Ibogaine a bad name by our own defects in character. So please, people out there, work on your character and make sure that your character is in line with the spirit and this plant. Make sure that it works in the same. It's sad when I see, you know, the Mind Box, which is a wonderful site, and I commend Patrick Cooper for it with such good intentions. But it leaves a bad taste to a lot of people who want to come into and learn about Ibogaine. So please, to people out there, let's pass the message out to the people in the world of what a beautiful plant it is, and let us first show people that it has made a difference in our life and it has caused transformation in our life. So we need to work on our character defects. We all are human beings. We tend to make mistakes, but please admit our faults and show the people that there is transformation. It's no use being a hypocrite and saying that Ibogaine is a wonderful plant and it does this, but we ourselves behave in unacceptable manner. So that's my message. In this way, through our behavior and through our actions and our words, more people will be able to come into learning about Ibogaine, experiencing, and want to try Ibogaine.
I think that's a wonderful message, and thank you so much for coming on. You've been positive, insightful, and I think the listeners have really heard your message that it's not about for providers, it's not about who gives a better treatment modality. It's about trying to spread the information, trying to develop research for this plant, and trying to get the word out. That's what we're trying to do here at IBO Radio, and it sounds like we have the same hope, the same goal. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good day. Thank you.
Okay, I think that was a really positive show of how Ibogaine can change the way a person thinks, change your set patterns, and